Ash and Iron, a new activity, exotic mission, epic raid, and story content leading off from the Edge of Fate. It releases next month, and today we will discuss its secrets and mysteries. Will Siva return, and who is making a push for the secrets lost under the Plaguelands? Welcome Guardians, let's dive right in. So Destiny 2's roadmap now looks like this in our new saga. We had the Edge of Fate's launch back in July, and starting next month we have our first major update. If you haven't been around the game for a while, that's how things work now. It's no longer one big expansion and 4 seasons. It's major expansion, few months go by, then a major update. More months, major expansion, then another major update. The major updates include new and reprised activities, new weapons, gear, stories, and even raid content. Our first major update, Ash and Iron, releases September 9th, and it's free, as is all seasonal content now. The point of this new model is to add fresh and some returning content to the game for players in a place where it will matter. Just think back to how things were before. Instead of creating, how many seasonal activities in the past that we don't even have access to anymore, they will now create this content and it'll be added to the portal. Will stick around instead of being removed just after 3 months. Overall, next month's update will have a return to the Plaguelands in some capacity, likely a mission or activity. A 3-player activity called Reclaim, an exotic mission, new weapons, Iron Banner returns with new gear and I believe armor too. And we also have the Epic Raid, which is new and adds on to Desert Perpetual gameplay and story-wise. The power cap is being boosted up to 550, there's sandbox changes and much more. Bungie said, in the Ash and Iron major update launching on September 9th, Guardians will return to the Plaguelands and will participate in a new activity highlighter event, New Territory. This event sets up the brand new activity called Reclaim, a 3-player mission where resources are limited and playing as a team is a requirement for success. The portal will expand with additional activities, customization options, new weapons and armor, and the new ultimate difficulty level accessible across all solo fireteam and pinnacle ops.
Destiny.
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to continually updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major updates between each of our major expansions coming in the Year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content.
For a major update, how big is that? Like, how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, we're going to be returning to the Plaguelands.
Returning to the Plaguelands, can't wait.
It's going to happen.
Plaguelands, baby.
And so that story is going to pick up from where we left off from the Edge of Fate. And with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice.
There will be a new seasonal content too, like a season pass. And Bungie previously said that dungeon content is finally coming to the portal, and there's going to be new artifact perks too. So those are some of the major changes and announcements, but just recently Bungie also mentioned some of the other updates in regards to player feedback since the Edge of Fate's launch that is going to be changed for Ash and Iron. They say power progression is our most important topic right now, and we are still identifying the adjustments we plan to make. Progression is clearly slower than we want it to be, and we plan to generally increase the speed of progression for most players. Portal reward balance is being actively adjusted up and down to make more activities feel evenly rewarding. Fireteam Ops in particular is feeling too low right now, and we are working to make it feel viable to make good progress while playing with friends. Crucible Ops are also getting close attention, and we are looking at raising rewards at lower ranks and increasing the drop rates for comp-exclusive weapons. Raids have good baseline weapons and armor, but drops are not high enough tier, and not enough of it drops for the time investment. We are planning to improve both the tier and drop rates in a future update. They say they have more things planned for 9.5.0 Renegades reveal, but everything above is under active development and will be in the game in the coming weeks in early September. So it seems at the beginning of September they're probably going to have a stream talking about Ash of Iron and also revealing Renegades. So for you Guardians interested in the story, the question is, why the Plaguelands? Bungie previously said this in the past when it came to returning to the Plaguelands and revisiting story threads involving Siva. While narratively it's possible to upend those stories and bring them back, I think seasonally one thing that we have to do is make sure that we are focused on the story the season is telling, and that we aren't indulging ourselves on pieces that don't necessarily push that story forward. I think Siva, while it's cool, it would be looking backwards. And we were trying to build up to Neomuna and Lightfall and making sure that the story had room to breathe, has room to flourish before players set foot onto that new destination. So it is a consideration. It's something that's always in the back of our minds. We definitely have people in the studio who want to do things with older elements of Destiny. And whenever we find an opportunity to bring them in that makes sense, we do our best to make sure it happens. So interesting quote there that seems to have been around Lightfall and Neomuna, which obviously didn't go well. But at that point they were looking for stories that would push the universe forward and likely conclude the Light and Dark saga. But now that that's over, Bungie has opportunities to dive into new stories and maybe even unearth some old threads, which could be a possibility here in Ash and Iron. In my opinion, what else would we return to the Plaguelands for? It was quarantined, Siva was receding, and the replication chamber dealt with in Rise of Iron. Unless there's some new big development, Siva was kind of finished. But there is a reason we're going back. Did something try and unearth Siva for power once more? We've seen Fallen do this in, say, 0 Hour, trying to acquire the Outbreak perfected. Are our enemies searching for something else buried in the Plaguelands? We're not sure at this moment, but what we do know is that the activity is called Reclaim, so it seems that's what we're doing, reclaiming the Plaguelands. We do know that a Cabal faction, which we'll see in Renegades, has been stockpiling paracausal weapons and technology. They are the ones that mugged Xur, or sent a Guardian to do it for them, stealing 3 of his weapons. So maybe these Cabal are interested in Siva too. With Ash and Iron, we are going to be returning to the Plaguelands. That story is going to pick up from where we left off in the Edge of Fate. The Plaguelands is part of the Cosmodrome. It's actually right next to it, and from the game we accessed it from the Rocket Yards, which is where you start the Devil's Lair strike. During the Golden Age, Clovis Bray created Siva, and a replication chamber was built in the Cosmodrome for the colony ships. Siva was able to provide power for those starships to create cities with rapid construction and send some of those materials and creations to other worlds. But Earth went through its collapse, and for a long time the secrets and Siva here remained buried. That is, until some Guardians, members of the Iron Lords, stumbled upon it once more. During the Dark Age, they heard legends about Siva and realized its capabilities. Hey, maybe this can help us rebuild civilization. But as they ventured through Old Russia, they were confronted by combat frames and constructs. And as they neared the replication chamber, the Warmind Rasputin would turn on them, and Siva would infect and even kill most of them. In a last-ditch effort, the complex was sealed, Lord Saladin and Lady Aphrodite the only ones able to escape.
Some know the legend, but no one truly knows how the Iron Lords died their final deaths. That was something you had to be there for, to witness, to remember, to know even heroes can die, and survival is not always a victory.
In Destiny 1 Rise of Iron, the Fallen discovered this quarantine zone and the secrets inside, becoming Devil Splicers and Tech Priests wielding Siva to their advantage. The Guardians had to stop the Siva crisis once more by taking out those high-ranking leaders, and the source of Siva itself detonating the chamber. Since then, the years after, remnants still remained across the scarred land, but the job was done. That's as far as we know. Zavala still said the place was under quarantine.
We need to go very fast.
Well done, my young wolf. Siva is gone, and the Iron Lords are at peace. Return to the Iron Temple.
The seasonal story now in Edge of Fate and the future is told through the portal activities, mostly. It's not much, but gives us some dialogue and will hopefully make the world feel like it's evolving a bit without the weeks of seasonal stuff we had before. For example, solo ops will talk about the Dire Taken, or events that just happened on Kepler. It was nice to experience that rather than having no dialogue at all, or Bungie reusing lines. But the season we are currently in is called Season of Reclamation, so with the Plaguelands activity called Reclaim, it fits. This major update will expand upon Edge of Fate's story, so it'll be interesting to see how it connects and how it'll flow into Renegades. Although Siva has never returned in Destiny 2 to this point, it is in-game in some aspects. There are many armor ornaments and sometimes mentions and lore cards. The fans have longed for the return of Siva, and Bungie could play off that, even just for the new activity. I mean, heck, even members of the community made that Siva season because they were that interested in the topic. So we have the Reclaim 3-player activity where teamwork is needed. We don't know what kind of mode this is. Maybe it has elements of, say, an extractor, or just limited resources like the Nether. What if it was entering a dangerous, quarantined Siva zone? That would be pretty cool, maybe into areas that the raid took place. And we also have an exotic mission and epic raid content which will add to the story of the Desert Perpetual Raid 2. The Vex entering that singularity, Maya Sundarej and her plans to interact with more members of the Nine. So we'll see where that story leads to. But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Wanted to sort of collect some of the newer bits of information we have when it comes to this first major update and bring it all into one place. I'm sure Bungie is going to do a reveal stream at the beginning of next month for this update and Renegades, but let me know how you're feeling so far in the comments down below. But if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.